From the sprawling steppes of Central Asia, a legend arose, a force so powerful, so relentless, it reshaped the very map of the world. The Mongol Empire, a name whispered both in fear and admiration, continues to fascinate and intrigue centuries later. How did a tribal people, seemingly born from the harsh embrace of the steppe, conquer such a vast and diverse empire? Join us now as we journey back in time. We'll delve into the heart of the Mongol Empire, exploring its meteoric rise, its complex society, and its enduring impact on our world. We'll uncover the stories of visionary leaders, fearless warriors, and groundbreaking innovations that defined an era. Be prepared to witness the might of the Mongol cavalry thundering across continents, their arrows darkening the sky. The Mongol Empire was not simply a reign of conquest and terror. It was a complex tapestry woven with threads of cultural exchange, religious tolerance, and groundbreaking advancements in trade and communication. Our story begins not amidst opulent palaces or bustling cities, but on the rugged steppes of Mongolia. Here, amidst the unforgiving beauty of rolling grasslands and windswept plains, lived nomadic tribes honed by hardship and bound by tradition. These were a people intimately connected to the land, masters of horsemanship, and skilled warriors. Life on the steppe was a constant struggle for survival, a crucible that forged an indomitable spirit within them. It was into this world in the year 1162 that Temujin, the man who would become Genghis Khan, was born. His early life was marked by both tragedy and triumph, a testament to the turbulent times in which he lived. Through cunning, ambition, and unwavering determination, he united the warring Mongol tribes under his banner. His vision extended beyond tribal squabbles and petty rivalries. He dreamed of a united Mongolia, a force to be reckoned with. Genghis Khan, meaning oceanic ruler, proved to be a brilliant strategist and a charismatic leader. He instilled within his followers an unbreakable loyalty and a shared sense of destiny. His military tactics, a blend of speed, surprise, and overwhelming force, became legendary. The Mongol warriors, mounted on their sturdy steeds and armed with deadly composite bows, were a force unlike any the world had ever seen. Under Genghis Khan's leadership, the Mongol Empire exploded outwards from the steppes. Driven by a thirst for conquest and a belief in their own destiny, they swept across Asia like a whirlwind. From the Great Wall of China to the Caspian Sea, no army could withstand the fury of the Mongol horde. Their victories were swift, decisive, and often brutal, leaving behind a trail of both awe and terror. Yet, the Mongol conquests were not solely fueled by bloodlust. Genghis Khan possessed a keen intellect and a vision for a vast, interconnected empire. He understood the importance of trade, communication, and cultural exchange. Under his rule, the Silk Road, that ancient artery of commerce, flourished as never before. Ideas, technologies, and goods flowed freely across the empire, connecting east and west in unprecedented ways. The Mongols, despite their fearsome reputation, were surprisingly tolerant rulers. They embraced religious freedom, allowing conquered peoples to practice their own faiths without persecution. They valued knowledge and scholarship, patronizing astronomers, mathematicians, and artisans. The Mongol Empire, though forged in the fires of war, became a crucible for cultural fusion and intellectual exchange. By 1206, Genghis Khan united the Mongol tribes through shrewd alliances and decisive victories. He wasn't just a warlord, he was a lawgiver and strategist. He gave them the Yasa, a strict but fair set of laws. No longer scattered tribes, they were now a nation. Their horsemanship and archery were unmatched. Unity, discipline, and strategy were key. The army was reorganized into an efficient chain of command. Loyalty, courage, and obedience were instilled in every soldier. With his army ready, Genghis Khan looked beyond the steppes. The world lay before him, ripe for the taking. The Mongol Empire's expansion was meteoric. Neighboring kingdoms fell. The Shishia, Tanguts, Jin dynasty all tasted Mongol might. Cities were besieged, walls breached, defenders put to the sword. Surrender and be spared, or resist and face annihilation. His tactics were revolutionary, masters of deception. Surprise attacks, lightning speed, vanishing into the steppes. Renowned for archery skills, composite bows shot accurately. Disciplined, fearless, and ruthless in battle. The Khwarezmid Empire, a powerful Persianate empire, became the next target of Genghis Khan's ambition. Strategically located along the Silk Road, it controlled vital trade routes. Initially, Genghis Khan sought a peaceful trade agreement. He sent envoys bearing gifts and a message of friendship, but the Shah rejected the offer, underestimating the Mongol strength. In 1219, the Mongol storm broke upon the Khwarezmid Empire. Cities like Bukhara, Samarkand, and Urgench were besieged and conquered. The once mighty Khwarezmid Empire crumbled before the Mongol onslaught. In 1227, Genghis Khan died at 65, leaving behind an empire from the Pacific to Eastern Europe. His death did not signal decline, but ushered in expansion under his successors. He divided his empire among his sons, ensuring a smooth transition. Genghis Khan's legacy extended beyond conquests. He promoted trade and cultural exchange. Section 5. Ögedei Khan, consolidating power. Ögedei Khan, upon ascending the throne, faced the daunting task of preserving his father's vast empire while continuing its expansion. He proved to be a capable ruler, consolidating Mongol power in Central Asia and launching new campaigns of conquest. He was known for his administrative skills, his patronage of the arts, and his role in further centralizing the Mongol Empire. Under Ögedei's rule, the Mongol capital, Karakorum, flourished. It became a vibrant center of trade, diplomacy, and cultural exchange, welcoming travelers and scholars from across Eurasia. Ögedei Khan continued his father's policy of religious tolerance, welcoming representatives from various faiths to his court. Militarily, Ögedei Khan's reign was marked by further expansion. He completed the conquest of the Jin dynasty in northern China, bringing an end to their centuries-old rule. He dispatched armies westward, conquering Persia and pushing into the Caucasus region. The Mongol Empire, under his leadership, reached its greatest territorial extent. Ögedei Khan's reign, though often overshadowed by his father's legacy, was a period of significant achievement for the Mongol Empire. He proved to be an able administrator, a capable military leader, and a patron of the arts and sciences. He consolidated Mongol power, expanded its borders, and laid the groundwork for the empire's continued dominance in the following decades. Section 6. The Mongol Assault on Europe. Ögedei Khan set his sights on Europe. The 13th century invasion sent shockwaves through the continent. It was a clash of civilizations. In 1236, Batu Khan began the westward campaign. The Mongols' superior tactics overwhelmed Europe. They ravaged Poland and Hungary. The Battle of Legnica in 1241 was decisive. The death of Ögedei Khan halted their advance. This withdrawal spared Western Europe. Section 1. The Golden Horde. The Mongol presence in the east remained a potent force. From the ashes of Kievan Rus' arose the Golden Horde. This division of the Mongol Empire spanned from the Urals to the Danube River. Batu Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan, was a shrewd ruler. He established his capital at Sarai on the Volga River. The Mongols extracted wealth, but avoided imposing their culture. This allowed for autonomy within the conquered territories. The Mongol conquest profoundly impacted Russia. Moscow's rise is attributed to its alliance with the Golden Horde. Muscovite princes gained power by acting as tax collectors. The Golden Horde brought stability to Eastern Europe. The Pax Mongolica facilitated trade along the Silk Road. The Golden Horde shaped the political and cultural landscape of Eastern Europe. Section 2. The Mongol Assault on the Middle East. The Mongol Empire expanded southward, targeting the Middle East. The Abbasid Caliphate in Baghdad faced the Mongol war machine. In 1258, Hulagu Khan led a massive Mongol army into Persia. His objective, Baghdad. Caliph al-Mustasim refused to submit. This miscalculation proved fatal. The Mongols surrounded Baghdad. For 40 days, the city endured bombardment. The Mongols breached the walls and destroyed the city. The Grand Library of Baghdad was destroyed. The Caliph was executed, and Baghdad was left in ruins. The Mongol conquest marked a turning point in Islamic history. The Abbasid Caliphate was destroyed. The invasion paved the way for new Islamic powers like the Mamluks and Ottomans. Section 3. Kublai Khan, Dragon Throne, and Yuan Dynasty. In the east, the Mongol Empire reached its zenith under the rule of Kublai Khan, grandson of Genghis Khan. A man of great ambition and vision, Kublai Khan completed the conquest of the Song dynasty in China in 1279, unifying the land for the first time in centuries. He established a new dynasty, the Yuan dynasty, with its capital at Khanbalik, present-day Beijing. Kublai Khan, unlike his predecessors, embraced many aspects of Chinese culture. He adopted the Chinese calendar, established a Confucian bureaucracy, and promoted trade and cultural exchange. Under his patronage, Khanbalik became a vibrant cosmopolitan center, attracting merchants, diplomats, and travelers from across Eurasia. Kublai Khan's reign marked a golden age for the Mongol Empire, a period of unprecedented peace, prosperity, and cultural exchange. His court welcomed visitors from distant lands, including the famed Venetian merchant and traveler, Marco Polo. Polo's account of his journeys provided Europeans with their first glimpse into the wealth and splendor of the Mongol Empire. Kublai Khan's ambitions extended beyond the mainland. He launched ambitious, though ultimately unsuccessful, naval expeditions against Japan and Southeast Asia. Despite these setbacks, Kublai Khan's reign cemented the Mongol Empire's status as the largest contiguous land empire in human history. Section 4. Pax Mongolica, the Mongol Peace. The Mongol conquest, though brutal, ushered in an era of peace and stability across Eurasia. This period, known as the Pax Mongolica, lasted for roughly a century. Trade flourished, cultural exchange intensified, and ideas flowed freely. The Mongols secured the Silk Road, establishing caravanserais for travelers. Paisas granted safe passage to merchants and diplomats. A sophisticated postal system, the Yam, enabled rapid communication. The Pax Mongolica facilitated the exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies. The Mongol Empire, far from being a culturally monolithic entity, fostered an environment of remarkable cultural exchange and intellectual innovation. Their empire encompassed a dazzling array of cultures, religions, and languages. This diversity, rather than being suppressed, was often celebrated. The Mongol rulers, recognizing the value of knowledge and craftsmanship, patronized scholars, artists, and artisans from across their vast domain. Kublai Khan, in particular, was known for his interest in foreign cultures and his patronage of the arts. His court became a melting pot of cultures, with musicians, dancers, and storytellers from as far afield as Persia and Europe, entertaining him with their talents. The exchange of knowledge and ideas during this period was truly remarkable. Medical practices, astronomical observations, mathematical concepts, and architectural styles were shared and adapted across the vast expanse of the Mongol Empire. The Mongols, pragmatists at heart, readily adopted and incorporated ideas and technologies that they found useful. This blending of cultures gave rise to a unique artistic and intellectual flourishing. Persian miniature painting influenced Chinese art. Islamic architectural styles could be seen in buildings as far as China. The Mongol Empire, for a brief but brilliant period, became a crucible of cultural exchange, a place where East and West met and mingled. Despite the outward appearance of unity and power, the seeds of discontent and division were already being sown within the vast expanse of the Mongol Empire. The very factors that had fueled its meteoric rise, decentralization, succession disputes, and cultural assimilation, would eventually contribute to its fragmentation. Genghis Khan's decision to divide his empire amongst his sons, while ensuring a smooth transition of power initially, ultimately led to fragmentation. The Mongol Empire, rather than remaining a unified entity, fractured into several independent khanates, each ruled by a different branch of the Genghisid family. The lavish lifestyles of some Mongol rulers, particularly those who had adopted the customs and practices of their conquered subjects, created resentment amongst the nomadic Mongol population. The Mongol elites, once renowned for their frugality and martial prowess, were increasingly seen as out of touch with the needs and aspirations of their people. Religious tensions also began to emerge. While the Mongols under Genghis Khan had practiced religious tolerance, this policy was not always consistently applied by his successors. The rise of Islam in some parts of the empire, coupled with attempts to impose Mongol shamanism on others, led to religious strife and unrest. The Mongol Empire wasn't governed by chaos. Genghis Khan knew true power lay in ruling justly. His answer was the Yasa, a comprehensive legal code. Think of it as the constitution of the steppes. The Yasa emphasized meritocracy over lineage. A commoner could rise to power based on merit. It also promoted religious tolerance. Hospitality was enshrined in the Yasa. Guests were to be welcomed and offered food and shelter. Violation of these laws was met with swift punishment. Genghis Khan's word was law. The Yasa unified tribes and curbed conflict. It transformed a nomadic people into rulers of an empire. Section 2, Religious Tolerance and Syncretism, a multifaceted approach. The Mongol Empire was remarkable for its religious tolerance. Genghis Khan allowed conquered people to practice their own faiths. He saw wisdom in diversity and understood that suppressing beliefs led to unrest. This policy stemmed from the Mongols' own shamanistic beliefs. This tolerance fostered religious syncretism, blending different faiths. Buddhism, Islam, Christianity, and shamanistic traditions coexisted. Mongol rulers patronized various religions, building temples, mosques, and churches. This intermingling of faiths contributed to a rich cultural tapestry. Talent above all. In the Mongol Empire, your worth was measured by your skills and loyalty. Genghis Khan despised inherited privilege. He rewarded talent, regardless of social standing. This meritocratic system was a radical departure from rigid hierarchies. A skilled warrior could rise to become a general. A clever merchant could advise the Khan. This fostered a dynamic environment attracting talent. Capable individuals occupied positions of power. It had profound implications for the empire. Section 4. Women of the Empire, Beyond the Veil of History. The Mongol Empire afforded women far greater freedom and influence than many other cultures of the time. Renowned for their strength, resilience, and horsemanship, they managed households and played active roles in political and military affairs, held property rights, could initiate divorce, and participated in the Kurultai. Powerful empresses like Kutulun and Chabi wielded considerable influence. The Mongol Empire recognized the strength and resilience of its women. Imagine a parliament, not confined within the walls of a grand building, but under the vast expanse of the sky. That was the Kurultai, the assembly of the Mongol Empire, a testament to their nomadic roots and their commitment to collective decision-making. It was a gathering of clans, a place where tribal leaders, generals, and even commoners could voice their opinions and shape the destiny of the empire. The Kurultai wasn't just a rubber stamp for the Khan's decrees. It was a place of genuine debate, where important matters like succession, military campaigns, and legal reforms were discussed and decided. Genghis Khan himself, despite his absolute authority, recognized the importance of consensus building and often used the Kurultai to garner support for his policies. The Kurultai served as a vital link between the rulers and the ruled, ensuring that the Khan remained connected to the needs and aspirations of his people. It was a mechanism for airing grievances, resolving disputes, and maintaining unity within the vast and diverse empire. Though the Kurultai might seem like a chaotic gathering to outsiders, it was, in reality, a highly structured and sophisticated system of governance. It embodied the Mongol values of consensus building, meritocracy, and accountability, ensuring that the empire, despite its vast size and diverse population, remained unified under a common purpose. Centuries after its fall, the Mongol Empire's legacy in law and governance continues to resonate. The Yasa, though lost to history, influenced legal codes in Persia, China, and even parts of Eastern Europe. Its emphasis on meritocracy, religious tolerance, and the rule of law provided a model for later empires. The Mongol system of governance, with its emphasis on centralized authority, a unified legal code, and a sophisticated bureaucracy, left its mark on the regions it once ruled. The Yuan dynasty in China, founded by Kublai Khan, incorporated many aspects of Mongol administration, influencing the development of Chinese bureaucracy for centuries. The Mongol Empire's legacy in law and governance is complex and multifaceted. While their conquests were often brutal, their rule brought a period of stability and prosperity to much of Eurasia. Their legal and administrative innovations, rooted in their nomadic traditions, proved to be surprisingly adaptable and effective, leaving an enduring mark on the world stage. The Mongol Empire's rise and fall offer valuable lessons in statecraft, cultural exchange, and the enduring power of ideas. Their story reminds us that even the mightiest empires are not immune to the forces of time, and that true greatness lies not just in conquest, but in the legacy we leave behind. Even the mightiest oak, rooted deep in the earth, can be felled by the relentless march of time. So it was with the Mongol Empire. The same winds that carried their horses across continents eventually carried whispers of rebellion, of fragmentation, of the inevitable ebb and flow of power. The empire, once a monolith, began to crack and crumble, its vastness becoming its undoing. Internal strife, fueled by succession disputes and the ambitions of regional khans, weakened the empire from within. The descendants of Genghis Khan, once united under his iron will, now squabbled amongst themselves, their unity shattered. The once feared Mongol war machine, lacking a cohesive command, lost its edge. Conquered people, long simmering under Mongol rule, sensed weakness and rose in rebellion. The Black Death, that terrifying plague that swept across Asia and Europe, decimated populations and further destabilized the empire. The Mongols, who had once seemed invincible, were now vulnerable. By the late 14th century, the Mongol Empire, that vast expanse that had once redrawn the map of the world, had fractured into a patchwork of smaller, weaker states. Their empire, like a sand mandala meticulously created, was ultimately swept away by the winds of change, leaving behind a legacy both awe-inspiring and cautionary. Ghosts of trade routes, the Silk Road's enduring legacy. The Mongol Empire might have vanished, its cities crumbled, its khans turned to dust, but its impact on global trade continues to echo. Under their rule, the Silk Road, that ancient network of trade routes connecting east and west, experienced a golden age, a resurgence fueled by Mongol pragmatism and their desire for exotic goods. Imagine for a time, you could travel from the shores of the Mediterranean to the heart of China, relatively safely, under the protection of the Mongol Paisa. This facilitated an unprecedented exchange of goods, ideas, and technologies. Silk, spices, porcelain, and gunpowder flowed westward, while horses, glassware, and textiles traveled east. Though the Silk Road predated the Mongols and outlived their empire, it was under their rule that it truly flourished. They understood that a secure and stable trade route benefited everyone, bringing wealth to their coffers and fostering cultural exchange. This interconnectedness, though fading with the decline of the empire, sowed the seeds for a more globalized world. Even today, we live with the legacy of the Mongols' impact on the Silk Road. The routes they patrolled, the caravanserai they built, the cultural exchange they fostered, all left an indelible mark on the world, a testament to the enduring power of trade and interconnectedness. Cultural diffusion seeds sown across continents. The Mongol Empire, though forged in the fires of conquest, ironically became a conduit for cultural exchange on a scale rarely seen before or since. Like gardeners scattering seeds, their vast movements across continents led to a cross-pollination of ideas, artistic styles, technologies, and beliefs. This wasn't always a harmonious process, but it was undeniably transformative. Imagine Mongol Khans dining on Chinese noodles one day, Persian pilaf the next, all while listening to musicians playing instruments from distant lands. This blending of cultures wasn't just confined to the elite. Soldiers intermarried with local populations, merchants brought back new ideas, and religious practices intermingled. The Mongols, pragmatists that they were, readily adopted and adapted useful innovations from the cultures they encountered. Gunpowder, originating in China, made its way westward, forever changing the face of warfare. Printing techniques traveled along trade routes, eventually leading to the printing revolution in Europe. Even today, echoes of this cultural diffusion can be seen in architecture, cuisine, language, and art forms across Eurasia. The Mongol Empire, though short-lived, left behind a legacy of interconnectedness, a reminder that even in the wake of conquest, culture finds a way to blossom. Section 4. Military innovations changing the face of warfare. The Mongol Empire wasn't built on diplomacy and handshakes. It was forged in the fires of war. Its armies feared for their ruthlessness, their discipline, and their innovative tactics. The Mongols were masters of adaptation, incorporating new technologies and strategies into their military machine, making them nearly unstoppable for over a century. Their cavalry, riding sturdy steppe ponies, were unmatched in speed and agility. Their archers, trained from childhood, could loose deadly volleys of arrows while riding at full gallop. They mastered siege warfare, employing catapults, gunpowder weapons, and sophisticated logistics to conquer even the most fortified cities. The Mongols' impact on warfare extended beyond their own time. Their use of feigned retreats, encirclement tactics, and psychological warfare influenced military thinking for centuries. Their adoption and refinement of gunpowder weapons, originating in China, changed the nature of warfare forever. The Mongol Empire's military legacy is a complex one, marked by both innovation and brutality. Their conquests were often devastating, but their military prowess forced other nations to adapt and innovate, ultimately changing the face of warfare for centuries to come. Section 5. The Mongol Empire in modern memory. Fact, fiction, and the enduring allure. The Mongol Empire, even centuries after its fall, continues to fascinate, horrify, and inspire. Their story, a blend of fact, legend, and myth, has been told and retold in countless books, films, and historical accounts, each generation interpreting their legacy through its own lens. For some, they remain the ultimate conquerors, their names synonymous with brutality and destruction. Others see them as unifiers, bringers of trade and cultural exchange. The truth, as always, lies somewhere in between, shrouded in the mists of time. The Mongol story is a reminder that empires rise and fall, that even the mightiest conquerors are not immune to the tides of history. Yet their impact on the world, from the Silk Road to the evolution of warfare, continues to shape our present. The Mongol Empire, though long gone, continues to challenge our perceptions of history, power, and the enduring legacy of a people who, for a brief, brilliant moment, rode at the center of the world. Section 1. The Empire of Contradictions. The Mongol Empire stands as a testament to the complexities of history. It was an empire of stark contradictions, a whirlwind of conquest that paradoxically fostered cultural exchange and intellectual flourishing. They were ruthless warriors who valued loyalty and meritocracy, brutal conquerors who, at times, exhibited surprising tolerance and pragmatism. Their story challenges us to look beyond simplistic narratives and grapple with the multifaceted nature of power, culture, and legacy. Section 2. The legacy endures. The Mongol Empire, though long vanished, continues to cast a long shadow over our world. Their conquests redrew the map of Eurasia, their trade routes facilitated the exchange of goods and ideas, and their military innovations changed the face of warfare. Their story, a blend of fact, legend, and myth, continues to fascinate, horrify, and inspire us centuries later. Their legacy is not simply one of conquest and destruction. The Mongols left behind a rich tapestry of cultural exchange, architectural marvels, and legal innovations that continue to shape the world we live in. Their emphasis on meritocracy, religious tolerance, and the rule of law, though not always consistently applied, provided a model for later empires. The Mongol Empire's story is a reminder that even in the wake of destruction, seeds of cultural exchange and innovation can take root and flourish. Their legacy lives on in the genes of millions who carry their DNA, in the languages spoken, the stories told, and the interconnectedness of our modern world. And so, as we reach the end of our journey through the heart of the Mongol Empire, let us remember them not just for their military might, but for their enduring impact on our world. a world forever shaped by the thunder of their horses' hooves and the whispers of their legacy on the wind.